Sports fans, good afternoon and welcome to Full Count, SportsMemo's MLB betting coverage show. We come to you live every weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be covering baseball with some of the best handicappers, analysts, columnists, and sports bettors on the planet. My friends, we'll be giving out free picks on several games for today's card and plenty of time for you to get down on those free picks. I'm your host, world champion handicapper, Las Vegas' biggest daily sports bettor, Joe D'Amico. Joining me today, guys, this is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I've got an all-star panel. This way we can go into the weekend with a bankroll. Joining me today, Jeff Michaels and Kevin Thomas. This is a good-looking bunch. Happy Friday, Jeff and Kevin. Jeff, how are you doing this Friday afternoon?
Good. I can't complain, Joe. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to lay 6-5 pick 'em. I'm not even wearing pants right now. That's how happy I am right now. Kevin Thomas, guys, I don't know. He rivals me for good looks. Kevin, happy Friday to you. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling good today. I'm a little exhausted. It's been one of those weeks where it's just been a lot of busyness. So
busy day.
It's gonna be a nice weekend. Nice weekend.
Busy day over at the strip club, guys. For you guys that don't know, Kevin stars in Magic Mike on the East Coast. He's the star. He's the star attraction. I did go to see one of the shows one night. After the show, next day I had to get a penicillin shot. That's how sexy that show was. I'm just kidding, guys. My friends, before we give out free winners for today's card, there's two items I am very excited about. I know you will be too. First of all, we need your help. Sports Memo needs your help. We are so close to 5,000 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button. We want to hit 5,000 subscribers this weekend, and we need your help to do so. Also, it is never too early to talk about football, and saving your money is just as good as making your money. And the people at Sports Memo offer customer appreciation discounts like no other. My friends, there is a college and pro football combo. It is $7.99. You get college and pro football from your favorite capper or cappers, and you have an opportunity to get a ton of wager bucks as well. Also, guys, if you want to dip your toe before you dive into the football water, Sports Memo this week put up a wonderful preseason football discount. You get it for pennies on the dollar. You could test out your favorite capper or cappers before the regular season starts. Make a bankroll, go into the regular season. Hey, but I will tell you this, that discount on the combo is not going to last forever. It will be expiring pretty soon, so take advantage of those. So, guys, we have three great roundtable games in our best bet segment that we're going to be chiming in on. I want to tell you the three roundtable games we have today are cream of the crop. They are all marquee games. Our first of three roundtable games we're going to be talking about is between two teams that can very well be seeing each other come this postseason, fighting it out for the AL pennant. It is the Houston Astros at the New York Yankees. Currently, New York is 130. 7.5 is the total, and they are begging you to go over there. But I want to see what Jeff Michaels and Kevin Thomas has to say about this game. So let's go with the new kid on the block. I love him. You love him. Jeff Michaels, also known as JM Sports. Jeff, can you tell us what you got going on? New York hosting Houston.
Yeah, this is definitely a pitching matchup to watch, Joe. But both teams lost the last start by both of these pitchers. Verlander's on the mound for Houston. He's 8-3 this year with a 2.30 ERA, but he's got a WHIP of just .887. Houston's 9-4 in those 13 starts, but on the road his ERA is even better. It's a 2.15, and his WHIP's just .783. Teams won 6 of the last 8 starts against the Yankees, and the Yankees have Severino on the mound, who's been impressive too. He's 4-1 this year. His ERA is 3.27, and his WHIP's just over 1 at a 1.06. But New York's won 9 of his 12 starts, so one of those records has to go down after tonight. He's 3-0 at home. His ERA is just a 2.33, and he's got a WHIP under 1 in his last 3 starts. And while both these teams have been incredibly hot, I mean, Houston's 6-2 in their last 8, even though they're off that loss yesterday, but they still put up 11 hits and 6 runs, even though that wasn't enough to take down the Yankees. But they're 24-10 against top offensive units in the last 2 years, taking on opponents that are putting up 4.9 or more runs per game. But New York's been obviously as hot as it gets. They have the best record in the month so far. They've won 23 out of their last 28 and 19 out of their last 22. They have lost 2 games out of their last 5. So, but that doesn't mean they've slowed down. They're still putting up 6.4 runs per game, and they've dominated the best teams in the league. They're 24-8 against teams over 500. Wow. They're 28-4 against the top fielding teams who average 0.6 or less errors per game. And they're 9-1 against good power teams who are hitting 1.25 or more home runs per game. When it comes to starting pitching, they're 12-3 against the ERA of 3.7 or less, and they're 12-2 against the starting pitcher with a whip of 1.1 or less. So I like the Yankees in this one. Give me Severino.
Sports fans, Severino and the Yankees by Jeff Michaels, a.k.a. JM Sports, who's doing some great work over at Sports Memo. My friends, after this show, go over to Sports Memo, take a look at JM Sports, that's Jeff, and you take advantage of some of those wonderful discounts that Sports Memo has to offer. It's a great breakdown, Jeff. We really appreciate that. One thing I have noticed about these Yankees, and I am a Yankees fan. I talk about them a lot. It's not just my heart, it's my head. As opposed to recent years, their bullpen is holding up too. Not just their starting pitcher. Jeff mentioned their starting pitching, but they're also winning games late. They're coming back in the 8th and the 9th, and they're winning games, and their closers are holding up. I really do love this matchup. Like, this is a matchup I'll be watching because I really do feel that these are the two best teams in the AL, and one of these two teams will represent the American League come the Fall Classic. So that's a great breakdown by Jeff. Let's go to Kevin Thomas, who is always one of the sharpest streetwise bettors and handicappers out there. I'm interested to see what Kevin has on the Yankees hosting the Astros. Kevin, New York -130, total 7.5. Take it away, buddy.
I do have a premium on this game outright, but we're going to look at the total here. There's no love lost between these two teams. I mean, back in the day when the Astros cheated, they screwed the Yankees out. So there's never been love lost between these two. And last night, when the Astros hit the ball 6 times, they got 6 runs and then gave up 6 hits and 7 runs in that loss, that I kind of blame Dusty Baker. He could have pulled the bullpen a little earlier there, but he didn't. And Aaron Judge, guy's a stud. They're 30-7 at home for a reason. So I'm going to look at the total here. Verlander coming off one of his worst performances against the White Sox, and then we're looking at Severino. He's going on 5 days rest. There's a lot of pressure on these two guys, especially with the atmosphere that you're going to get around these two. I'm going to go over the 7.5 here because neither of these guys are going to go more than 7 innings. So, and I know they both have really good bullpens. I know the Yankees have one of the top bullpens, but those Astros hitters, I mean, you just can never count them out. I think they're going to put up some runs early like they usually do, and the Yankees will put the runs up towards the end like they usually do. So I was even looking at the first half and couldn't even get a lean on which way I would go. I would probably take the Astros first 5, but I would definitely take the over 7.5 for the total game.
Sports fans, perennial leaderboard fixture Kevin Thomas says over 7.5. Kevin, let's give you a shameless plug. You said you have a premium play on the side here. Can you tell everybody what you're offering this evening?
I do. I have 2 MLB picks up for this evening, and this is one of those. And then I have my 10%er up in hockey. It's my total of the year. I know it's the biggest game going back to Colorado, so you can get on that. Or you can take either of these MLB. I'm pretty good. I'm doing really good in MLB. I think I'm like 2nd or 3rd in profit last 30 days. So 60% winners in MLB. So you can check all those out.
Sports fans, Kevin Thomas, all over the Sports Memo leaderboard. After the show, take advantage of those discounts. Follow Kevin. He told you numbers don't lie, guys, and he's all over that leaderboard. So a very good breakdown, as usual, Kevin. It's what we've come to expect from you. My friends, our second of 3 roundtable games is a very interesting matchup. You got the Atlanta Braves, who are making a real run in the NL East. They are right on the heels of the New York Mets. They've won 7 of the last 10. They are hosting the Los Angeles Dodgers, who many feel are going to make a return trip to the World Series this season. That a lot of people think they're gonna run away with this NL pennant. Currently the Dodgers 135, 9 over -115. I saw this total move a little bit here and there just before game time. I'm interested to see what our documented winning cappers have to say about that. Let's go first. JM Sports, aka Jeff Michaels. Jeff, Dodgers at Braves, LA 135, 9 over 115. Please give us your take.
Yeah, I don't love this game. Pitching points to Atlanta, in my opinion. I mean, but the Dodgers are getting back on the right track after a little bit of a tough run. They've put up 7 or more runs in 4 out of their last 5 games. And in the last 7 games, they're hitting over 300, and they're holding the opponents to under 200 batting. But Urias has been the least profitable pitcher since the beginning of May, mainly due to a lack of run support. But it's actually impressive seeing he's allowed 3 or more runs in just 2 of his last 12 starts. And in his last 3 starts, he's posted an ERA of just 1.56 and his whip's a 0.75. Yet the team still managed to lose 2 out of 3 of those games. The defense has been the key to the season, though. They're allowing 3.3 runs at home on the season, and opponents are hitting just 215. But on the road, they're allowing just 2.9 runs per game, and they're allowing the opponents to hit just 207. But as Joe mentioned, Atlanta is tied with New York for the best record since the start of June, going 18-3. This team's 4-3 in their last 7 games. They've still played well against lefties. They're 18-7, and they're putting up 6 runs per game. And they're 17-5 at home on the year, winning by 1 or more runs, winning against against teams that are winning by 1 or more run on the season. So they're winning against the best teams. They do hold a head-to-head advantage at home against LA. I don't love it, but I think I'm leaning Atlanta.
Sports fans, Jeff Michaels, who is doing some great work over at SportsMemo, says doesn't love it. That's okay, but he's leaning towards Atlanta. It's a good breakdown, Jeff. You know, you have something in all your analyses tailor-made for any type of bettor out there, technical, little streetwise stuff, and you have a great overview of everything you do. And that the proof there, guys, is in your numbers. Jeff's doing great work over at SportsMemo after the show, really. Go look at Jeff's numbers. I'll tell you right now, you'll buy a 3, a 70, maybe even a 30. He'll make a believer out of you. He'll come back for more. Let's go to Kevin Thomas. Kevin, these are 2 teams, really, that were highly touted once again in this preseason. 2 teams that can certainly be seeing each other down the road in the postseason. No doubt about that. Kevin Thomas, tell us your take. LA, 135.9 over 15.
Yeah, this is my other premium play right here. Ain't that funny? But you got to remember, just like the Yankees and Astros, the Dodgers here, they got beat by the Braves in the NL Championship game, and the Braves went on to win everything. So you don't think there's a chip on their shoulder. But the only problem is their last 5 in Atlanta, they're 0-5. And then you got Julio Urias on the mound. He's 4-6, but he's 2-4 on the road. And you never know what you're going to get with him. You know, I used to be high on that kid, and it's sporadic with him. On the other hand, you got Ian Anderson, and he does what he needs to do. He gets the job done. I would look more at this total. I mean, they're trying to hook you for the over 9. The last time Ian Anderson played them or pitched against them, I think the score was like 4-3 or something. I would go on the under here. That over 9, that just seems – I know the Braves have been pounding the ball, and this is against the Dodgers, but I think this is going to be more of a defensive battle. And I think both these pitchers want more than anything to put on a good performance. So I would take the under 9 here. If you want my pick on the outcome of the game, that's one of my premiums. Go to SportsMemo, and you can get that fairly cheap.
Sports fans, Kevin Thomas says a lean on the under here. Good breakdown as usual, Kevin. It's what we've come to expect from you. He does have a premium play on the side. Go over after the show, SportsMemo. Don't go anywhere, guys. We have another roundtable game. Then we have our most exciting portion of the show, the best bet segment. Let me tell you this. I want to say something, I always feel that going into All-Star break is a lot like an NBA team going into halftime. All right? No matter how much you're down, how you finish the last week or two of the first of the first half of the regular season and go in sets momentum for the second half. And right now, guys, it's hard to say that San Diego is not going to be a real threat in the NL West against the Dodgers. They're sitting 1 game back. They are hosting the Phillies tonight, and I don't count Philly out at all. They show signs throughout the first half of the season already of brilliance, and sometimes they look absolutely downright horrible. But they have played well overall. They're one of 3 teams in the NL East with a winning record. I am interested to see how Jeff and Kevin are going to break down our third roundtable game. Phillies at Padres. Currently, Philadelphia is minus $1.37 over minus 115. Let's go to Jeff Michaels to break this down. Jeff, tell us your take. Phillies Padres, please.
Yeah, I lost a tough one yesterday on this game, but it's a tale of two pitchers tonight. I mean, one of the starting pitchers in Aaron Nola started struggling, to say the least, at least in the team outcome of the game. In his first 11 starts, the team was just 3-8 in those games. But in his last 3 starts, the team's won all 3 of them, and he's put up a .78 ERA, and his WHIP's .652. He allowed just 2 earned runs in 23 innings pitched. And then you have a Mackenzie Gore for San Diego, who in his first 8 starts on the season, he allowed only 8 earned runs, but in his last 2 starts, both of which were against Colorado, he gave up 14 earned runs, including 8 in just his most recent start, and combined, he only went 6 1/3 innings. So one pitcher starts hot and struggles, the other one struggles and is now on a hot run, but Nola's posted a 2.25 ERA on the road this year, and he's got a WHIP under 1. So Nola does have some impressive stats backing him, but San Diego does have the better bullpen. Their bullpen's got a 2.91 ERA, and they have a combined WHIP of .880 at home this year. So it does give them a little edge in the later innings. But even though Philly has been hot since the start of June and they've gone 16-5 in the last 7 games, the Phillies they're only hitting 192. And they're 25-40 in the last 2 years after allowing 2 or less runs. And they're allowing over 5.5 runs in the games to follow. So Padres have a pretty good record, especially as a dog, and 20-14 at home. And they're holding opponents to just a 206 batting average, which actually would be a step up for the Phillies in the last 7 games. So, that something has to turn around with their hitting. I like the Padres to bounce back in this one. The last 9 head-to-head games have alternated winners. So team hasn't won back-to-back games in this series, so dating back to 2021. So I like the Padres to bounce back off the loss in this one.
Sports fans, Jeff Michaels, a.k.a. JM Sports, says, take the Padres to bounce back. By the way, Jeff, want to tell you, I can make a few phone calls, but here in Vegas, if you want to be whipped, it's going to cost extra. My friends, don't go. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't help myself. We got Chris in the back room. He's always shaking his head every time I say anything. Chris is, by the way, guys, Chris is one of the best in the world. He does all our technical stuff. And because I'm so crazy, I mess up our batters once in a while. He's in the back room doing batters, but he is a part of the best staff out there. So I want to throw out a shout out to the best staff in the history of this business and the best staff I've ever worked with in this business. All the crew at SportsMemo. Thank you for all you do for us. Without you guys, we couldn't shine, and you do a lot for us. Chris is in the back room. Actually, he's not wearing any pants today either. I love him. Sports fans, we're going to go to Kevin Thomas on this matchup. I'd like to see if Kevin agrees with Jeff, because Jeff made some very good points, or if he's going to contradict. If this is your third of 3 plays, I'm going to laugh.
No, I only have 2 for baseball.
See, Kevin's laughing because he knows he's on that Magic Mike show. He whips a lot. Anyway, Kevin Thomas, Phillies at Padres, Philly 137 over 15. Kevin, take it away.
Yeah, I don't want to be a homer here, but I like Aaron Nola, what he's been doing. Last time he faced the Padres, it was a 4-3 loss. That was the last August. But, there's a lot of talk in Philly, was he a legit number 2, number 1, Wheeler's the man. So Nola still has a lot to prove. And yesterday, because the Phillies got up that quick, they didn't have to go to the bullpen. We didn't have to see Familia. We didn't have to see some of these guys. So we still got Sir Anthony back there. We still got some guys that can come out and throw a couple innings. I think Nola goes 7 here. For McKenzie on the other side, like Jeff was saying, he struggled against Colorado, which a lot of people do. They're a good hitting team, but so many people sleep on these Phillies. I mean, he had Real Muto back in the lineup. I mean, he went yard in that one, but Bryce Harper, he's a difference maker. You got to pitch around him. I'm not sure I like Schwarber batting first, but he's getting the job done. He's starting to heat up too. My thing is with the Padres, I think Machado is the life of that team. And without him, once again, I'm not seeing a lot of runs. I know they've been putting up like 4 without him a game. Yesterday, they only managed 2. And that was against Ranger Suarez. So I'm not seeing it. I'm going to go ahead and take the Phillies minus the 1.5 here. I don't even know. It's got to be plus money. I would think plus 115. I'm not even sure. I'm just going off my head. But I would go ahead and take the Phillies minus 1.5. And that's not even being a homer. That's just I'm a hitter guy. And when you got your best hitter, Machado, I think he's the home run, the RBI, and the batting average. He's out of lineup. I know they still got some big bats in there, but when you lose a guy like that, it hurts. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Philadelphia Phillies minus 1.5.
Sports fans, Kevin Thomas. To quote one of my favorite songs and the great Bob Marley, there's a great song, No Woman, No Cry. Kevin Thomas says, no Machado, no runs. I will tell you this, Kevin on this show, and he is a Phillies guy, but he talks, and on this show and on our first family show, the early morning show, he has come in quite a few times on and against the Phillies because he knows this team inside and out, and I always listen to him, whether it's for or against, and he doesn't play favorites. He does root for them in his heart, but he separates his heart and his head. Good breakdown, Kevin. Thank you very much. He says the Phillies, he says it's not a homer play. He likes the Phillies tonight. Sports fans, don't go anywhere because the most exciting portion of our show, our best bet segment, is about to happen. That's where Jeff, Kevin, and myself, I'm going to be chiming in too, so get ready to turn down the volumes in a minute. I'll give you our best bet for today's action. So without any further ado, we're going to go to Jeff Michaels, who's doing some great work over at SportsMemo. He's also going to tell you what he's excited about on the premium side tonight and maybe over the weekend that you can take advantage of some of those customer service discounts. Then he's going to give you a free play. Jeff, we need to know what you got going on the premium side and your free play tonight. Take it away, Jeff.
Yeah, I guess I got actually my top play today is on the ice. I had a tough day yesterday, but 5 straight winning days, and I'm on an 80% hockey run in the NHL. So top play today over on SportsMemo is going to be on the ice, but I got my eye on some plays on the diamond this weekend to get you through the weekend. So keep an eye out there on SportsMemo. But when it comes to the free play today, there's been a couple AL Central teams that they may not be contending for the World Series, but they've stepped up their play recently, and one of them is the Kansas City Royals. And I like the Royals today minus the 135. I mean, nobody in the MLB has had a better record in the last 7 games, and they're 5-2. And even though they've ranked a pretty miserable 25th in runs per game in that 7-game span, they've still scored more than double the amount of runs that the Athletics have put up. So Kansas City's able to post that record due to their pitching staff, basically, that's allowed just 3.6 runs and a batting average of just 211 in that 7-game stretch. And they got Greinke on the mound today. And even though the team's just 2-2 in his home starts, his ERA is at 2.49 at home, and he's only allowed 6 earned runs in 21 2/3 innings at home. And against Oakland, Greinke's 11-3 with a 2.88 ERA, and his team has won 6 of the last 8 starts. And as I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the Dodgers with Urias having a lack of support and a lack of profit, Cole Irvin's been the same way for Oakland. I mean, he's posted an ERA. His ERA is just 3 this year in 11 starts. And the team's just 3-8 in those 11 starts. And they've lost 7 straight Irvin starts. And while he's 0-3 in those starts, his ERA has been 2.83, and he's got a whip of just 1.26. So the stats are impressive, and the team hasn't won a start in 7 straight. While Kansas City's hot, Oakland's not. They're 4-21 in their last 25 games, and they're hitting just 202 and putting up 2.5 runs while allowing almost 6 runs over that span. So I like Kansas City to take this one with Greinke.
Sports fans, Jeff Michaels, a.k.a. JM Sports, who's doing great work over at SportsMemo, says take Kansas City, likes the matchup here, minus 135. It's a winner. And you know what else is a winner? If you go over after the show and follow Jeff, take advantage of some of those customer appreciation discounts. He'll make a believer out of you. I promise you that. Let's go over to Kevin Thomas. He's doing some great work. He is all over the 3, the 7, the 30-day leaderboards, different sports, multiple sports. He's doing great work at SportsMemo. He's going to tell you what he's excited about tonight and maybe over the weekend on the premium side, and then he's going to give you another free winner. Kevin, we're sitting on the edge of our seat. Take it away.
Like I said earlier, I got a 10%er on the ice tonight, and then the 2 premium ML picks that I didn't give the sides for. But what I'm excited for is I just got the email from SportsMemo about the preseason NFL preseason. I know some cappers shy away from it, but I know me and Joe D are actually really good at picking the NFL preseason. I'm pretty sure Jeff is too, but he's fairly new, so I don't know what his record is. But I know me and Joe were way above over 50, 60% or whatever NFL preseason. And it's a great deal right now going over at SportsMemo where you can lock it in. I think you can get that all the way up to August 11th to the first kickoff with the Patriots. So you got plenty of time, but don't waste time because you don't want to forget about it. NFL is clicking down, and I'm so excited. That's my favorite to bet on. I mean, baseball, you can make a ton of money, but NFL, geez. But I'm going to go right to that best bet for tonight. Now, personally, myself, I locked in the Orioles real early this morning when I saw that nice money line because I'd rather go all in. If I lose, all right. If I win, I'd rather win big. But for you guys, I'm going to give you the Orioles plus the 1.5. I just like the Orioles. I know they're basically doing a bullpen pitching session. I don't even know who's pitching. I think it was Voit, however you say his name. That's who was starting at the beginning. I'm not even sure if he's going to be the starter or not, but if you get 4 innings out of him, that's great because like this Orioles bullpen, once again, is guys you don't even know of, and they're getting the job done. I mean, honestly, if the Orioles weren't in the American League East, if they were in playing in the White Sox division, they'd be number 1 because this team is hot. This team is young. I love the hitters: Mountcastle, Hayes, Santander. I mean, I'm huge into cards. I've purchased all their autographed cards. I'm just sitting on them. I mean, they even got what's his name, the 2019 first pick catcher Adley Rutschman. I mean, he had a huge game yesterday. The bats are going to come. I know Michael Kopech is pitching for the White Sox, but he's not a strikeout artist. And these young guys are fastball hitters. I mean, if you're going to leave it up high, inside, outside, they're going to crush this ball. And they're a hard-hitting team. So I think from now to the end of the season, when the Orioles are getting plus money, I'm going to have some money on them. But for the safe bet, I would take plus 1.5 because, like I said, this Orioles bullpen is pretty good. And then if you get Lopez the ball in the end, I think he's already up to 12 or 13 saves for the season. This is something the Orioles haven't had, a winning atmosphere. Usually they're like at 16 or 10 wins for the season, and they're doing great. So lock in the Orioles plus 1.5. Make sure to go over to SportsMemo and check out all the preseason NFL and all the great cappers over there. You could pick a couple of those for the deal they're offering, and that's all I got.
My friend's Kevin Thomas says the Orioles take him on the run line, and then in the future, he sees them getting some big money. He's going to be playing them. I'll tell you, Kevin's a winner. There are people that gamble, and there are gamblers. Kevin is the latter, and he's been making money for you all season, all year long over at SportsMemo. And I do know that, Kevin. Kevin, preseason football, when I started this business, I may look young. I'm old. When I started this business, guys used to just disregard preseason football. But much like some of the teams that we're putting on, my best bet team in a moment is not a big name team. And I know Jeff had the Orioles and Kevin had the Pirates. In my game, scratch that. Jeff had the Royals and Kevin had the Orioles, and my team isn't a winning team. But much like some of these teams in college football, they don't have to be the SEC to find gold in them dark hills. In college basketball, it doesn't have to be the ACC. And you don't have to find big name teams to find money if you're picking your spots in baseball. And I agree with you, Kevin. Preseason football is a lot of money. Last year, 70% I went. I know you did great. I know Dion did great. She kicks butt in that. That's the first lady of Las Vegas, who, by the way, has been razzing me the last few weeks because she's number 1 in WNBA, 8-1. That's a whole other show. I got to toot the horn for my wife because I'm very proud of her. But I want to go into a few things. Before I go to today's free winner, which I'm very excited about, I want to tell everybody what I have going on tonight. With another winning day Thursday, I'm not just red hot. I am scorching. 9-2 overall run. $100 players during this 9-2 run are up $3,192. This includes an 8-2 MLB hot streak. All right, I had a big 10% winner the other night. Today I have, guess what? A 5% NL Central game of the month. My 5 and 10% plays, 46-22 run. This year, in 2022, this calendar year, My 10% plays are 11-0. Guys, the only thing better than that was Rocky Marciano's professional record, 49-0. Follow the best big game hunter here today, and together we're going to hunt, stalk, and kill the books. This big game winner is available right now at SportsMemo for just $15, or you can take advantage of my big baseball discount. 7 days, just $49. It comes to a mere $7 a day. Use code SWING49. SWING49 on checkout. You get the whole darn thing for $49. It is great. Now, guys, for today's free play, we're going to go to the Diamond for some interleague action as the Pirates visit Tropicana Field to take on the Rays in Game 1 of the series. It's no secret, my friends, no secret at all that Tampa Bay is struggling. They have dropped 7 of their last 9 to sink into 4th place, my friend. Let me try to get 4th place in the AL East. See that? Those hooked on finals books did not come in yet. They're 14.5 games back, and believe it or not, at 29-40 in 3rd place in the NL Central, 9.5 games back, Pittsburgh is actually doing pretty well. Let's be honest, the Central is definitely a 2-horse race between Milwaukee and St. Louis. However, the AL East, the most competitive division at all of baseball, sports 4 teams with winning records. The Pirates enter this matchup winning 4 of the last 5. Let's go back to the Rays real quick, folks. During their current slide, they've accounted for 5 or more runs just twice over those last 9 outings. While these 2 teams haven't met since 2017, Pittsburgh has taken 4 of the last 5 meetings in Tampa Bay and 4 of the last 6 overall meetings. I really feel this is an ideal time to capitalize on the fact that Tampa Bay, they're slumping. They ain't hitting. The Rays are 0-4 the last 4 during Game 1 of the series, 1-5 the last 6 versus right-handed starters, and 1-4 the last 5 on Fridays. I'm taking Pittsburgh plus the run and a half, minus 120. I think they can win this game outright, but like Kevin mentioned in his breakdown of his best bet, I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to take that run and a half. It is a winner. My friends, let's bring the whole panel back. We have a couple of announcements, and then we're going to get some closing thoughts before we go into the weekend and say sayonara. My friends, be sure to tune in every weekday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, to this show. Full Count SportsMemo's MLB betting coverage show. We come to you live with special guests and tons of free winners every day. We want to thank you for tuning in. We appreciate everyone in the chat and in the comments afterwards. Be sure to subscribe. We want to hit that 5,000 number this weekend. And don't forget those sweet customer appreciation discounts. The NFL NCAA football combo. Use football 100 upon checkout. You get them both. Big discount. You get some wager bets. And then the NFL preseason discount if you want to dip your toe first. Before we sign out, I'd like to get some closing thoughts and comments from Jeff Michaels. Jeff, if you can.
Yeah, guys, best of luck. Kick off the Friday. Check out SportsMemo. You know, like Kevin and I have mentioned before, we got some hockey action for you tonight on there. Some big plays for you for some good prices. Get the weekend off to the right bankroll and get back to some more diamond action for the weekend. But
thank you, Jeff. Kevin Thomas. It's Friday. We say thank God it's Friday. We got a big weekend. A lot of sports. A lot of games on the board. Your closing thoughts and comments before we say goodbye for the weekend.
Yeah. Earlier you said heart and head. I bet with my head in my wallet. Might leave my heart out of it because I can't get involved because I'll bet against the Packers any chance I get if I'm going to win money. So make sure you do that. You always bet with your brain, not with your heart. If it looks too good, it probably is.
There you go. My wife's been telling me that for years, 23 years. So it looked too good. So anyway, sports fans, we'd like to wish you a blessed day and a wonderful weekend full of winners. But be sure, before you do anything, subscribe because we want to hit 5,000 this weekend and we need your help. My friends, on behalf of Sports Memo, Kevin and Jeff, this is Joe D'Amico. Good luck and have a winning day.